Episode 4. Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 4. I have a special guest, one of our newest operators, striving hard to be an owner, Miss V. I'm going to let her say her whole name, and we're going to talk about the Mocksville, North Carolina store today. And I think you're going to like this lady. She's tough. She's driven, and she's got special kids, and she's been through a lot. So I want her to share kind of her story with us. Why did you be welcome?
Welcome. How you doing?
Tell everybody. How everyone. I see you've got mom on here too.
Yes, with my son in the middle.
Hey, that's your son. What's his name?
Nasir.
Nasir.
Yes.
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 4.
4?
Yes.
He's still almost brand new. That's
yes,
awesome.
he is brand new.
That's
I'm
awesome.
learning everything.
Well, you work in this business. You work a lot of hours. I know you're
Yes.
working 50 to 60 hours a week. How? Who?
80.
80. Holy cow. Tell me about who takes care of the little man.
My mom was recently taking care of him full time for me because she knew what my goals were.
Mm-hmm.
And recently she's been sick. So as she's been sick, he's been staying with my stepdad.
I got you.
But my mom didn't know that I'm very goal oriented. So whatever it takes for me to be successful for him, then I have a village.
So this is it, huh? This is where you have pitched your tent. Why Highway 55?
Honestly, the reason why I chose Highway 55 was because at first I had to do my research on you guys first to make sure.
You had to check us out.
Yes, of course.
Make sure this thing was real.
Yeah, because I'm getting to the point where I'm about to be 37 in 15 days, so I had to get to the point in my life where I'm
37.
Yes.
You're still a baby. Go ahead.
Well, I had to get to the point in my life actually to know where I want to be at. I don't want to keep switching around and keep finding jobs and being a leader at different places. I want to have my foot in one door and it closes from there.
Gotcha.
When I first met April and Neil, they told me that the opportunities here was endless, and that's what made me to go do my research to make sure it was true because I heard that many a times.
Right. So you said, wait a minute, let's stop right there. You said you've heard that too many times with some other places you work?
Yeah, honestly, like I was telling April and Neil in my interview that if you give me a chance, I'm an asset. So I know what I bring to the table when I come. So just give it to me straightforward and let me know what I'm getting myself into first.
Right.
And when I found out that it was a brand new store, I was ready.
Okay.
Because any other job that I've managed, I always cleaned up someone else's mess. And that's what I'm known for. So that's why I always switch to different locations in the corporation to clean up someone else's mess. So my goal was to be able to work somewhere and start from the bottom and let you see what I can do as far as from the beginning to the end.
When you say you cleaned up other people's messes, can you give us an example like of one of the other places that you used to work?
Yeah, I actually was a general manager for Burger King about 7 years. And
Would they
before
move
I
you
came,
around to different
the
stores?
different locations that was had low food, like high food costs, high labor, speed of service wasn't right, things like that, because that's where my strong point is. Numbers.
Numbers is your strong point,
Yeah.
but also you said speed of service.
Yeah, speed of service. Why? Because as I tell my crew that I have now, we work in a fast casual business now, so I'm used to fast food. So now I know that my time should be a little bit faster than what I'm normally. I'm normally 3 minutes, but April them taught me 30 seconds.
Right.
So that's what I strive for is 30 seconds every time.
Right.
And that's my goal, really, just to be able to push it in order for them to come back. So that's where we lacking at the moment. But
what about that? I know April's probably talked to you about. What about? One thing I don't know that our competitors or even fast food places emphasize making connections with the guests as much as we do.
You don't.
Because we do full, we do full service on the inside and the speedy drive-through on the outside. Well, when we talk about that connection with the guests, what does that mean to you, and how do you kind of get that going in your store?
Well, now making a connection is, for me, is more important than anything now, because that's how I get paid. And that's how I'm able to make the brand grow, by even letting them know that I know who you are every time you come here. I got regulars now, they know me as B, or Queen B.
Queen B?
Yeah, they call me Queen B.
Awesome. I'm
King
K.
Okay, King. Okay. So yeah, I make connections because it's very important. Sometimes you don't know what people are going through. And that one connection can open many doors.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that's what it did for me, because I thought this was a scam at first. Because the way April and them came to me in my email, and then when I met them, they had on regular clothes. I said, oh, this is chill.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a great
Wait a minute,
opportunity.
I gotta go back to that scam work, dude, okay? I cannot let that one just ride.
Okay, but the reason why I said
Too
that
good
was,
to be true?
yeah, too good to be true.
Okay.
Okay, and I take that back, so I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
And when I say this, because the way they answer my Indeed on application, they both answered.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then they FaceTime me together. So I've never had that.
That's a team.
You know what I mean? That was a team. And the way they just expressed you in the meeting on how, you know, they've been working for you this long, or how y'all became this great team this long, it's like, wow, they're a team. And
I didn't even realize that. I was at my 40-year high school reunion this past weekend, and I had more than one person come up to me and say, you know, they were proud of me because they remember me back in high school and when I was basically an athlete and a terrible student. And but they came up and I literally said immediately, I said, I've been blessed. I've had a lot of really good people around me for a long time who are smarter than me and you know, and just wonderful people. So, and I consider who you get to look up to in the western part of the state, Neil and April, is
the best.
Wow. Oh, they're awesome.
The best. And like when I first met them, when I worked with them side by side, and I just watched and I just watched and I just watched, and I said, they don't get tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing. Like I told them, you can't slack around them. Ain't no way possible.
That's awesome.
They run circles around you.
Well, do you do the same thing with your staff now?
I have no choice, because
Yeah.
I told April, if anything, that I'm gonna show you what I'm worth. So I'm not gonna let you down.
You know, that's an old adage: speed of the ball, speed of the crew, and we believe in that. You
Yeah,
know,
you have to.
we absolutely. I think sometimes people get shocked when I go into a new store, and I jump in there. I'm sweeping the floor out front, or I'm cooking, or whatever. I think that surprises them to see the founder back there getting his hands dirty. So, was that not always the case with the other places you worked?
I'm not gonna say that. No. The difference between there and here is that the people that I hired now are totally different than the people that I would hire in fast food. So you treat them a little differently. You know
Explain
what I mean? I've never hired high school students.
Really?
Never. Why? Because I know they're learning and they're not gonna be as fast, and it's a new job for them. I just went into it because I know I had to make my numbers. It was more about making my numbers and making bonus and things like that. It wasn't the compassion that I have now. So now hiring high school students is my go-to.
Gotcha.
Why? It's because it sets the tone for me so that I can be able to teach them when they go somewhere else, even if they don't choose to make a career with us, that they know that V gave them a good experience while they're here.
Oh, that's awesome. V, do you understand? I mean, it's funny, the previous podcast, I had Jay Webb, the owner of South Carolina store in Columbia, Red Bank, I guess you could say. And Jay talked about what you put out, that kind of you reap what you sow, you know, which I know you're a Christian and you feel the same way. But we are putting into these kids. You know, I was actually talking about it earlier today, that sometimes when a meeting will, you know, I'll do a speech or something, like I did in Knoxville, I'll talk to the staff. And a young man may come up to me and say, thank you, sir, will go to shake my hand and lower his eyes and give me a weak grip, and I'll grab his hand firmer and I'll say, hey man, look at me. And they'll look up and I'll say, always look another man in the eye and smile and give a firm grip. I think that's important that I do that. And just like it's important to you to teach them, not only to love your neighbor, to get outside themselves. Because look, we were 16 at one time. The world revolved around us too. We understand that. Because right now their world is all about them.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
But if we can get them to understand and to learn a little bit that everybody that comes through that door has a story, and I get a chance to make them smile, I get a chance to, you know, whatever the case may be, to love my neighbor a little bit, that's a valuable thing that we can leave them with. Do you agree with that?
Of course. I have a lot of teenagers, and I have grown connections with every one of them.
That's
And
awesome.
all of them is differently.
Mhm.
You know, some of them is more personal, and like I told you when I first met you, that my problem was that I care too much.
Mhm.
And if I don't care, I won't understand them, and I won't be able to understand why they do the things they do, or why they're not moving fast today, or why she didn't get the door today. You know what I mean? Or why? You know what I mean? So when I see them and don't have the courage, because like I told them 2 days ago, and I said, you know what, y'all, I don't be on y'all because I want to, you know, I'm trying to be mean or nothing like that. I be on y'all because I've been where you at before. And in order for me to be able to see you, you have to stand out. You can't just be the same.
Yeah. I
Do
like
something,
that.
do something different. That's all you have to do. Like I told them the other day, we can't lose on food and we can't lose on labor. We got to win somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I love y'all. School going back, so now y'all gonna help me maintain on more. And I told them like, hey, I'm trying to be an owner. So don't, when you come in here and you clock in here, you say, hey, V want to be an owner, I'm gonna help her get there.
Well, you know what, I actually like that too, and I don't think there's enough of our operators that share their personal, excuse me, share their personal with their staff.
Of
And what I
course.
mean by that is, you know, the staff just sees them as a general manager. They don't connect with them. So if you can never get people to care, young 16-year-olds or 36-year-olds, you can't get them to care until they know how much you care about them.
That's
Okay? And you gotta tell them what, not only the store goals and dreams are, but what your personal goals and dreams are. And then when they start to kind of fight for you too, now you got something special on you.
And they do. So if my team is watching them, you know I'm here for you guys. Y'all
Well,
know
tell me
that.
what you mean when you say they do fight for you. What do you mean by that?
Oh my God, I have the best squad ever. You know I do, and I can name every one of them piece by piece. It's because like recently my parents both got sick. My dad got sick first. He had a major stroke on May 5th. And my mom got sick and was on life support 2 weeks after that. So I had both of them on life support at the same time.
I remember.
So I was
it was
going
crazy.
through a-
The store had just opened too. Really.
Yeah,
We
Lord
were
have mercy.
about a month in.
Yeah, about a month and a half in, you know?
Yeah.
But luckily, man, with the support of my April and Neil and my crew, man, I came out the emergency room one day and saw a couple of my staff members there.
Did
You know what I mean? Yeah, they wrote me poems, they made posters, they went over and beyond. So it gave me strength to say, hey, I can't just give up now.
No.
You know what I mean? I can't, and I did. And they showed so much compassion towards me to even fight for them. You know what I mean? To risk it all for them. Like even though I bedside making schedule, bedside doing truck, bedside seeing why you can't make it today.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I never gave up. And one thing I asked Neil, and I said, well, Neil, can you tell me what I got to do to be successful on Highway 55? He said, V, you have to be available. And I said, oh, okay. Well, that's what it is. I'm going to be available because I have goals. I have a 4-year-old son,
Right.
and he's autistic. And the fact that we do have an Andy's Foundation, I value that. And I like the fact that y'all do give to charity to people or families that are that's in need.
Right.
And I didn't understand that until I gained knowledge about autism. And so that's why when I hit you up a couple weeks ago, it was just on my heart because I was like, it's amazing how I've seen plenty of stand-up videos. I watched them hours and just watch and just listen to you and just make sure it was real. If you know, sometimes you got to go into deep and to make sure, and I did. And your last thing you said was that I was telling you the message that you said you want to give opportunities to single mothers to be able to know the fact that they can be able to take care of their child.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's my biggest, if I don't have nothing, my goal is to be able to make sure if I leave this earth today, my son is straight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me tell you something cool about that because that's an emotional goal. See, too many people, when they think about goal setting, they think about, I mean, it's easy to go, we want to do X amount of dollars in sales today, this week, this month. That's a goal, okay? And it's legit. What do we have to do to accomplish that? That's a goal. And that'll get you up and that'll get you busy, okay? But an emotional goal, that's what you hang on to when things suck, okay? When things are really bad or whatever, you look at that little man and you go, you know what? I am going to have a wonderful life for him. I am going to provide for him. Maybe even things that my folks couldn't provide for me, I'm going to provide for him. I'm going to give him opportunities because he's going to maybe have to have some education that's a little bit different than other people.
Exactly.
I want to be able to give him the best of that. When you hold on to that kind of stuff, oh, now that's powerful. That is powerful. And I always had it too. I had emotional goals, but it was always my children too. You know, I worked a lot. And I'm sure there were times when they wanted dad to be home more often or whatever the case may be. But it was so that they could live their dreams. And I worked for that because it's never been about money that drove me. I mean, look how I dressed, for crying out loud. And I dressed up for this podcast today, okay? Just so you know, this is dressing up, all right? All right, but it's never been about that. But it is about doing for others, and especially my family and even beyond my family. Those are the emotional goals that I have, and I still have more. I still reset those emotional goals all the time because those are the ones when you're really having a bad day, V, or when God tests you by making your dad sick, your mom sick, you just took on a new job. I mean, when all that happens at once, it's just a test. It's just a test.
It was.
And it is a test, and it's not supposed to be easy, or everybody would do it. Everybody would become an owner of their own business and be successful. It's not supposed to be easy. But if you have an emotional goal, you can take that bad day, you can flip it over, and say, you know what, not going there. We're not gonna have a bad day from this point on. We're gonna turn it around right now. So, does that make sense?
It makes a whole lot of sense. And my next favorite goal is to be able to put somebody else in position to say, hey, I may got in trouble a long time ago, or hey, I may, messed up when I was younger, but somebody gonna give me a chance, because somebody told me no before. So in order to be able to grow, you gotta help other people.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And I got some people in my group now that I know they wanna go with me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take them with me, because like Tess is my assistant manager, quote unquote, can't wait. But I hired her when she was 15 years old. And she's still with me to this day, and not because she is close to me, it's because I know that she know what my goals are.
You hired her in a different company?
At a different location, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, when she was 15 years old, and she's 24 now.
Okay.
And
she's loyal to V.
Oh yeah, she's loyal, and that's how I can trust her. I trust her. If I was to leave today, when my parents got sick, she stood up.
I'm sure she did.
She stood up and she did with no questions asked, and she made sure I was good. And the same thing, I know that she know what my goals are, so I know I have to worry about her stabbing me in my back or not help me get to where I need to be. So in order for me to get there, I have to have a team. I can't do it all by myself.
Oh gosh, no. I mean, it's the same thing here. At every level of business, you got to have a team. And let me tell you, if you got 7 people around you that care, I used to use this example. You want to be an owner, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, that means you have to be obsessed with this business. Still be a great mom. You gotta do all of the above, sorry. You gotta be a great mom, but you gotta be obsessed with, like you said, the numbers, the sales, the customers, the interaction. You're obsessed with every tiny detail of this business. But if you get 7 people around you that share not necessarily your obsession, but at least your passion, you're gonna win. And it's easier to make your obsession come true too.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you only have 1 or 2 or around you, it's a struggle and it's hard.
It's not. It won't work.
No, it won't work.
It won't work. And trust me, I always be like I was saying the other day to my mom that I was always a manager. Always, I can do that. That's the easy part.
Right.
But I didn't become a leader until I got here.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was because I didn't understand what leader meant. I thought manager was the way to go. But being a leader is more, because they look up to me, and I like that.
That's
right.
right. And you know what? It's different. We have to manage food costs and labor costs. We have to lead people. You don't manage people, you lead people. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I might do a meeting on that one day, the difference between management and honestly, we have to do both. I mean, we have to manage our numbers, but I thoroughly enjoy the leadership part more than I do the numbers part.
Yeah, I took a class. It was called From Crew to Management, and it was just showing that how when you move up in a bigger position, the things that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that. Like here, I'm a leader. I love them. You know what I mean? I love they got my heart and my kids.
Now, when you talk about servant leadership, and I'm gonna throw this at you because this is also a little bit of education too. When you talk about leading people and being a servant leader and caring about them and all that, just like when that's here, guess what? That doesn't mean we don't hold them accountable. So that doesn't mean that we don't sit them down when they mess up. Okay? If you are such a leader that if I looked at you and I was such a leader that said, V, if I looked at, all right, let me flip that. If I looked at Neil and April and said, you guys disappointed me. Do you understand? We've been together so long, that would crush them. Because the last thing, I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to snap at them. I just go, you disappointed me. That would crush them. And that's leadership, I think. Managers just say, do it or else. Do it or you're fired. Do it or you're out of here, whatever. Leaders have such a relationship that we just don't want to let each other down. I'm going to help you meet your goal. You want to be an owner? All right, guess what? That means I'm going to hold you accountable. Okay? You're going to because I will never sell a store that isn't successful. It's just the opposite. I don't sell my dogs. A lot of people in my position, if I have a bad store, they try to get rid of them. I try to turn them around. I try to fix them. But the stores that do well, that's my promise. And I've done it 60 times before, so it's not like this will be the first time. So that's what you're sitting at. So there may be times when Neil and April come in and tell you something. You gotta take it in. You gotta be coachable, and you gotta be accountable. And then you just move forward, because ultimately their goal and my goal is for you to get to your goal.
And it did. They not too long ago they came in and sat down with me, and I took it the wrong way. I did, but April told me, hey, you have to listen. In order for you to be successful, you have to be able to take criticism, and which I do. It was just more so. It was just more so the way I did things was differently.
Right.
And the way she done things. And she said, hey, V, you remind me of myself. Yeah, I used to say, hey, you out of here. Hey, this and the third. But she said, no, you massage the situation first. And if you know you go home and you lay down at night, you know that you did the best you could to help that person. And hey, they might just didn't make it. So now I massage it. You know what I mean?
Good.
I really do. I changed my tone.
Because it's hard. We want to get things done. So we just want to say, hey, do X, Y, Z now. You know, that's what we want to do. But sometimes we got to tell them why. Hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z, and here's why. Because I want these people to grow. I want them to succeed. So I may have to give them a little bit of the why in there instead of just telling them what to do. I don't want machines. I want people, you know, to spread the message and spread the joy.
That's what I say too. I told them I don't want y'all getting out of school and saying, oh God, I gotta come to Highway 55 today. No.
That's right.
I want you to say, hey, I'm going to work today. I'm going to work today. I'm having a good time with V today. And that's what they say, and I love it. They smile when they come to work. You know, you can call them today and ask them anything about me, and I bet they can tell you. Like, I know they can.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I really, really love it. I love them. You know what I mean? I've been in Moxville for years. I started in Moxville, and they tried to run me out.
Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Winston.
Tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Okay, well, me, I'm Venitra. I'm 37. 36. I'll be 36 in a couple weeks. I started being in the restaurant business maybe about 11 years ago.
What did you do prior to that?
Before I was working the Highway 55, I was a district manager.
No, I mean, you say you got in the restaurant business 11 years ago. What did you do in your early 20s?
I was spoiled, sorry.
Please explain.
Well,
because I didn't get none of that. All right, just so you know, nobody spoiled me, so just go right ahead. I want to hear about it.
Well, I'm sorry. My mom and dad, I was the baby, so my mom and dad always...
Oh, no, you're the baby?
Yeah, I'm the baby. My mom and dad always would spoil me. So that's why when they got sick, I took it hard because I had to grow up immediately.
Yeah.
They've never told me no, honestly, to this day. So I can never not be there for them because they never have told me no. And my goal have always been to make them proud. You know what I mean? Just make them proud, or know that if they leave this earth today, that they know that I'm going to be okay. And that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, but as far as that, I always worked in the restaurant business. I like people. I like to talk, as you can see. But I like the people. I like to make other people happy. You know what I mean? I do. And that's where it comes in at for me. Meeting different people every day, you know, knowing their stories or letting them know mine.
You started getting to know a lot. Well, you probably know quite a few people.
Yeah, and that's what makes it easier for me to work in Moxville. When I first worked in Moxville, they tried to run me out because honestly, Moxville is a more predominantly white town. Mm-hmm. And me being an African-American female or woman, they didn't like that at first. They didn't. But they know every time they came to Burger King, they got the best Whopper in the world. You know what I mean? They knew I was there. And then they scratched up my car. They did all type of things out there. But as I grew and got to make connections with other people, they knew who I was. So when they saw me in Moxville, they said, "Oh my God, you here?" Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here. So that's why I say I got a lot of regular customers here in Moxville, and I love it. I love it. They always tell me, "You're doing a great job here, girl."
See, I think society as a whole is changing with a lot of that mindset, and I mean, there are definitely pockets of this country that still look at people in their skin color or their sex or whatever the case may be, and look, it ain't about that. You love on people, you show a love your neighbor mentality, and then they don't respond to that positively. I'd rather they go eat at Burger King, or rather they go eat at McDonald's. I'd rather not have them as a customer. Okay, if you're in there working hard and you're smiling and you're loving on them, and what I mean by loving on them is agape love. You're extending yourself for them, and you're trying to get to know them and make a connection, and they don't like you for that reason, then I'd rather they go eat somewhere else. I'll be honest.
And I appreciate it, but sometimes them the ones that need a little extra love. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, they just need a little extra
love.
Attitude. Sometimes you just smile and just say, "Have a good day."
That's right. Because ultimately, what are you working for? You're working for the little man right there. You're working to make your folks proud, and you're looking to own your own business, right?
Yes, of course.
So we can take a little bit of crap sometimes.
And you got to, and that's the only way you succeed. If you're gonna be soft or not be able to delegate and do things like that, this ain't the business for you.
Nah, you're right about that.
Yeah,
one of the things you mentioned earlier, you said you work a lot of hours, but in the restaurant business, the hours fly by when you're busy, right?
Yeah, it flies by, but you get accustomed to it. You got my feet used to the floor. I've been doing I'm used to the floor, you know what I mean? I caught some burns and some scrapes. Sometimes
you got
I
some
got the war
remarks.
room.
Yeah, there you go. There you
the
go.
war room.
That tells me you're working.
Hey, you gotta
When
get back. Hey.
When I see the steamer burns on the forearms, gang, right here and here, when I see the tiger stripes, is what we used to call them, the tiger stripes, when you got those,
you gotta take it and keep going.
you're working. That's right.
And you gotta jump in there with them. They love it. It's like the first time I jumped back there with them, they said, "Oh my God, Mr. V, you fast." I said, "Hey, stop watching it. Stop watching it. Stop watching it. I'm good." But that's what, and I had to learn the other day, and I'm not gonna drag on, but I had to sit and think. I was like, "Well, why every time I worked in Lenore, they had as many as people as me, but their labor was always low."
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't. I had to think. And what was they doing so differently to make them be successful the way they was? You know what I was? Oh, it was. I had to get back there with them.
Yeah.
I can't
Same
manage the
pace.
front from the front. I can't do it. It's not possible there. You know, most of the managers you work at it, you want to delegate and be able to watch the floor. But that's what I got my friend in the house front manager for, and that's what I got my assistant for. So me and my assistant, we jump in the kitchen.
I was gonna say, I want you to do both.
Yeah, we jump
You know
in the
what I
kitchen.
mean?
Well, we take our turns. She's my
Absolutely.
front and I'm the back, or I'm the back and I'm the front. We take turns. But jumping in that kitchen and getting that labor down and getting in the kitchen
That's
with them,
right.
and they respect you more. And that's where
100%. And you know that wait staff, they're out there, and look, I love wait staff. They are the face of our company. There's no question, right? But they can make money. They can put a lot of extra dollars in their pocket every single shift. Those cooks back there, we can pay them $10, $12 an hour or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's the engine. Without that engine, our car, they're like our shiny hood ornament out there on the floor is what they are, okay? But without an engine, we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So as a leader, you got to get back there and you got to thank the engine every now and then. You got to work with the engine every now and then. You just tell these guys, hey, I appreciate y'all, great job tonight, you know? And then spend some time on the floor greeting your guests or whatever. But I think that's spot on. I think you got to do both.
Yeah, you got to do both. It's no way possible. One, it shows them that in getting a crunch or a rush, they can call on you.
They can count on you.
Or they'll look at me now on my favorite. I ain't gonna say my favorite. Sorry, y'all. But one of my best employees, his name is Anthony, and he puts everybody first, and he wanted to be a red shirt so bad, and he didn't care about the money. That's what I love about him. He was like, I don't want the money, I just want the shirt.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? He wanted the shirt. He wanted to let everybody know that he can do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I made a connection with his mom and his sister and everybody. So, and one thing about him, he'll look at me and say, V, I need you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I'm
Come
on my
on
way.
back.
You know, I'm on my way, and he loves it. And the fact that when we back there, I make jokes and we laugh and we get the food out, and that's what makes a great leader, to be able to connect with them in every way. He lost a lot of blood and cells to the brain when he had a stroke. My mom, she had an allergic reaction to her blood pressure medicine, so it cut off her airways. But as far as her, she just got finished with her therapy, so she's finally back home. She wanted to come out here with me today. She said she wanted to be a support, but she wanted to come out here with me today, and I just told her, nah, just get some rest. You know what I mean? Just keep building back up. But other than that, I do want to thank you and Joey and Amy and April and all y'all. And if I have to tell anybody, as my questions was saying, that if I have to tell anybody why would I come to Highway 55, it's because of the compassion that y'all give your workers, not just your team, it's the support. You didn't have to hit me up and say, how you parents doing? You didn't have to do that at all, but you did.
But that's who we are.
And I love that.
Your family now.
Yeah, and it made, I'm talking about like Joey is a praying warrior. He prayed me through this. He did. He prayed me through this. I read his scripture every day on my knees and just asking God to just please, just don't make my parents better. That's all I asked. And I just appreciate y'all even be able to give me and other people opportunities to be able to fulfill their dreams.
I appreciate it. And look, you're on your way. It's part of the journey. You've gone through a tough beginning. You're still standing. You're moving. Let's grow those sales. Let's run those numbers, and let's get you to ownership. All right.
Let's get it.
Love you, girl.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Have a good day.